Hi everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to my art journal. Today I'm having a tribute page to one of the greatest singer-songwriters, composers and music makers from my childhood. So I do have this photo here, a print of a photo of Reinhard Lakomy. He was one of the most influential people in Eastern Germany when it came to children's music back in the day. So like 70s and 80s especially. So I grew up with the children's songs, and you can see here I got the LPs of him, and I'm taking different kinds of characters that I really liked from the 3 albums and place them around the portrait photo so that I do have a layout for my art journal page in the end. So there's the tree on the lower left hand side that, well, loses his leaves, and every leaf is a dream for kids to dream at night. And depending on the color of the leaf, there's a different kind of a story or a dream in it. So I really liked that album, and then I did like the one with, well, the raindrop and the spaghetti. So that's why there is a rainbow and this little spaghetti that is actually a character that leads you through the stories and the songs on the album. And on the upper right hand side in the beginning I had a tiny rabbit, and his motorcycle is not running on fuel but on songs with stories, so the children's songs pretty much. So with some graphite paper I'm just transferring the whole image to my art journal page, going only on the major lines for the portrait. I'm gonna do the rest with the charcoal later. I just need to trace the major lines, especially the eyes and the nose for the portrait, and of course my tiny sketches that I made of those fantasy characters that came with those albums. The songwriter, so Reinhard Lakomy, his nickname was Lucky, and so he passed away 2 years ago from cancer, and Tina and I only found out last week. That's why I do have a tribute page only now in my art journal for him. And when we found out that night, we were super sad. We teared up a bit because we were both really influenced by his music as young kids, and I was really sad that one of the greatest composers and songwriters of my time, at least when it comes to children's music, is gone. And yeah, it was just sad, but we talked about it in the Draw for Initiative episodes, that we very often sing the so-called rainbow song, and that he was actually the writer and the composer of the rainbow song that we sing a lot while we paint board games. So yeah, again, very influential person, and I'm really sad that he passed away. He was only, let me count, he passed away in 2013. And he was born in 1946, so quite young-ish, way too early to go. And I think, well, the world lost a huge talent and a great music maker, especially for kids' music. The current kids' music often has, like, the modern instruments or synthesizers or stuff, and his works had a lot of strings and like a full orchestra, and it was just really, really nice music to also listen to when you're an adult. And yeah, that was just kind of different, I think. So going to the painting technique, for the characters, from the records, I went with pastels and had them painted with a paintbrush. So it's pretty much liquefied pastels for the background, and only the portrait will be with a dry layer of what's it called? Charcoal. So for the background and the fantasy creatures there, I did use liquefied pastels just to, well, have a difference there with the technique, see that these are creations and, well, the portrait is real, pretty much. And this tree here took me longest. There's so many layers, and I tried to have some shading there as well. That tree has a face, as you saw on the record. And I want to, well, also convey the depth and dimension and perspective that was on the record, but have my own kind of coloring and my own way to draw eyes and stuff. So yeah, this took really, really long to just layer and layer and layer different shades of green and olive and brown for the majority of the leaves. There's some colored leaves like turquoise, orange, yellow, red, but most of them are green, and I want them to be set apart, but also just well, look like a tree pretty much. So I'm almost done with my tree. Here I gave him some indigo blue eyes and added the tree trunk, and then on the lower side I'm having like a little tiny creek there, and like the hint of a meadow, which is very much like it is said to be in the stories. It's a meadow in the forest, and there's a tiny creek, and the story tree, so to say, is standing there, and this is where dreams and stories originate for kids. So I wanted to have the same setting there. For the rainbow, well, I just went with the rainbow colors, of course. And the spaghetti is colored in yellows and blues, like she is also on the record cover. I stayed pretty close to the original designs of other artists, but I just, well, drew him on my own pretty much. There's slight differences, of course, in line work and stuff, but the general concept art is pretty much the same. For the little bunny here, he's actually white, but I wanted to give him some shading as well and some depth. So I made him very, very light gray instead, and took some artistic liberty there to, well, change him to the ways that I needed him to be in order to stand out, but also be shaded enough with the pastels. So for the background, I gave the whole piece a solid black background, kind of like a frame there. And there I also used liquefied pastels. And here I go for the portrait. So I'm outlining or going over the outlines that I put down with the graphite paper in the beginning. And then I'm blending the black lines with white chalk, so to get gray tones, mid-tones, or very light white tones. And he had white hair, white long hair, so I only needed a tiny bit of black and a lot of white to convey the same values in this black and white drawing here. For the face, I did go with the black charcoal and blended things out and rubbed the charcoal on other spaces that I didn't draw lines at, just to have I'm pretty much coloring in the rest and giving skin tone to the portrait or to the face with just the charcoal remains that I do have on that paper stump. Anything that is hair, I will go over the black lines with the white chalk, so the mustache and, well, the hair on the head themselves. But the rest I will add shading and depth and wrinkles and stuff with just the remains of charcoal on my paper stump. So I'm just pretty much, shading things there. You will see in a second. So outlines are done, clothes are done, hair is done, and now I'm pretty much going to the skin tones and shading the face there, pulling the pigment out as much as I can, and therefore, again, like I said, conveying shading, depth, wrinkles, skin, and age, I think. That's how you could call it. The hand isn't perfect with the way I did shade it. It's a bit too dark in comparison to the face, but I think it's okay still. And then I'm just putting down the sentiment, which is simply just tribute. I'm giving it a cover, a fixative spray, and then that's my art journal page this week. I hope you enjoyed watching along. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you tomorrow with a new Tiny Tuesday and next Monday with a new art journal. It's inks then. We're moving into May. Have a good one. Bye.